Okay, welcome back. Let's see if we can move this over onto that screen. We'll go back here. Let's get this all cool-like. Get it all cool-like. All right, so anyways, I'm going to leave it right there. This is the teacher, and we're back again answering all of your... Oops, let me go to the intro screen. This is the teacher, and I'm here to answer all of your TOEFL questions because I care. This is TOEFL Excellence. I'm the teacher, and I'm here to answer all your questions because I care. That's my intro. All right, so... thanks for stopping by, and today I'm doing another video regardless of the fact that it was really hard to plug in this camera and actually make a video. And so I imagine that sometimes it's really freaking hard to sit down and study the TOEFL, even though you know that that's the best thing that you could do for yourself. It's weird how that happens when you know exactly the right thing that you need to do in a moment, and it's hard to do it. But I did it. I'm doing it. So hopefully you will start studying the TOEFL as well, and hopefully you'll choose TOEFL Excellence by GiveMeSomeEnglish, which is me, to help you study the TOEFL, because I'm the teacher. All right, so today I'm making this video. Excuse me. All right, let me move this over here because I want to be able to... I want to become famous on YouTube. That's why I got to have my video here. All right. So anyways, a few days ago, I sent out, excuse me, let me take a drink of beer because that's how it is in TOEFL Excellence. All right. Now we're back in business. A few days ago, I sent out a mailing list email just asking all of my subscribers what they wanted me to talk about, because honestly, I'm kind of new to the whole newsletter, website, YouTube, marketing aspect of everything. I'm a teacher, and I teach the TOEFL. I also teach general English and other things like that, and I used to be a DJ and a skateboarder, and I was a punk, and I was a hippie, and I was a lead singer in a rock band and all these other things. But the whole thing about, running a newsletter and trying to be a marketing person, that's new to me. And it's not really something that I identified myself with because in the past, a lot of people, have this idea that if you're trying to market something that you're being slimy and dishonest and stuff. But if you're trying to run a business, which I'm trying to do, then you kind of need to do those things. So I guess that's why I'm telling you this right now. I'm giving you my testimonial about who I am. And for those subscribers who are on my list, if it seems like my list is different than a lot of others because I'm still working up to having a regular, regular emails sent out, I'm new to it. Okay. So that's why I sent out the email that I just asked everyone, what do you want me to teach? Because I've already made the entire course, and I teach English every day to people in businesses around the world. But not everybody is subscribed to my course. Not everybody's subscribed to the list. Not everybody on the list is subscribed to the to the YouTube channel, which you all should do. So there, go down there, press the subscribe button. Press the little bell next to it so that you get notified whenever I put up a video. And if you want to be subscribed to the newsletter, if you're just watching this video, first of all, if you go to the TOEFL Excellence site, anytime you try to exit that, you're going to have a little pop-up for you to subscribe. You can also do that by going to the blog. This is blog.GiveMeSomeEnglish. And down here, you'll see TOEFL Excellence Newsletter, and you can subscribe. And that will subscribe you only to the updates about TOEFL Excellence, or you can subscribe to the Give Me Some English blog, and that will subscribe you to all of the updates about this. Now, there's lots of different subdomains. Blog.GiveMeSomeEnglish, TOEFLExcellence.GiveMeSomeEnglish.com. That's a really long name, but I've made it easy for you because this whole thing started out as... Dun, 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 dun. Give me some English, authentic English for the real world. So this is the main site, and this is where everything started. It didn't look like this when it started. This started out as just a blog of me being a teacher, and I'm going to help the world learn how to speak English. And I guess I'm still doing that, but what I'm saying is this has evolved quite a lot throughout the years. This is the home base. This is the hub. So on this page, first of all, I'm building a database for any questions that you might have about English. And there are separate databases within this one. There's the Ask Me a Question database. This is going to be just general questions about English. I'm still building it, so there's not much here right now, but I just want to let you know. Excuse me. We have the grammar portal. This is in construction as well, because I did also have a grammar separate subdomain and subdomains for the TOEFL, lots of different disorganizations. Since I put out the TOEFL Excellence training courses, I realized that I need to put everything together into a central location. So this is going to be the grammar portal. We have the Lexis and vocabulary portal. So you'll learn all the different phrases, sayings, things like that, adjectival phrases, adverb phrases, phrasal verbs, phrasal nouns, interjections, proverbs, aphorisms, industry terminology, lexical terms, interjections, usage, this and that. That's like when we compare this word to that word, things like that. Slang terms, word list. So these are things that you can find on the main site. As I said, these databases are still being built, so there's not much there yet, but it's something I'm working on every day. TOEFL facts. I'll get to this in just a minute, but the thing I wanted to point out is if you don't know how to find all the different things, just go to GiveMeSomeEnglish.com. That's really easy to remember, plus all of the links will be down below. You can subscribe or scroll down. Look, there's a nice picture of me with short hair and without a beard. You can scroll down and all of the links to the different portals are here. The blog, that takes you to the blog. Dun, 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 there it is. Grammar portal. Now this is the old one. So you can see that this is just a page saying that the new one is being built. The Lexis and vocabulary one, this is a page or a subdomain which I really just used for my students because a lot of the same phrases and terms and things like that would come up in the classes, and so I would just send them to these pages to learn about different phrases when I'd send them reports after the class. Pronunciation portal is kind of like the grammar portal. It just tells you that the new one is being built and sending you there. And the TOEFL portal, most of you who are on the list actually have gotten there because of being on this site. Now, this site also, if you tried to exit this site, it's not doing it right now because I've been on here already today, but if you try to, move off the site, you'll get a pop-up that says, please wait, hey, sign up for the newsletter. That's another way you can get on the newsletter. Get your ass to class. This started as kind of a joke with my students back in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. I used to say that to them all the time. And this is the portal where I'm going to have my traditional English lessons. And right now it's in the construction phase once again with all of them. The TOEFL blog, this is the blog on WordPress.com about stuff for teachers. So if you're a teacher, you can go here. Not too many posts recently, but that's because I spent the last year and a half creating the TOEFL preparation courses, and that's right here. So if you go to, just to summarize, if you go to GiveMeSomeEnglish.com, that's easy to remember. You can scroll down, and this is where you find everything. So that's how you get around. Now, let me close this out, because the reason for today's lesson is for me to answer all of your questions. Now, as I was saying before, I sent out an email to all the people on the list just asking them, what do you want me to talk about as far as the TOEFL exam? And they gave me some suggestions. Oh, that's how we do it. Okay. They gave me some suggestions, and holy cow, I got a lot of responses. Like if I tried to answer all of them in this video, besides my rambling like I've just been doing, this video would be like 2 hours long. So it's not possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them up into smaller videos and answer your TOEFL questions. I already did the intro music, and I just made that up off the top of my head, so next time I do it, it's probably going to be different. So let's get on to the first question. This one is from Chinma. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I don't know if it's a man or a woman, so I was going to say she, but I don't know. Maybe it's a man. So their question, or actually statement, was, please make a video on listening part of TOEFL test. Okay, well, Chinma, luckily, I have made 19 videos on the listening section. Now, these, I haven't really promoted them because these are all videos that are in the TOEFL Excellence course, the training courses. So these are videos that you will actually see when you're in the course. Now, obviously, there is more in the course than just these videos, but one thing that you can do is if you go to the TOEFL Excellence video, which you are on right now, and you click on the playlist, you can see I have TOEFL Essentials, the TOEFL Reading section, TOEFL Writing section, TOEFL Speaking section, TOEFL Listening section. Now, these are not in order because YouTube won't let me put them in order. The first section of the exam is the reading section, the second one is the listening section, the third one is the speaking section, and the fourth one is the writing section. But the way they do it here is alphabetical. So there are 19 videos about the listening section. And there aren't any videos that talk about the overall structure of the listening section. Every single one of these videos is about each of the different question types on the listening section. So it's quite a bit more extensive than, well, most of the videos. But that's only because I break them down into each question. And also, you'll see it says, there's a summary about, this is the question, what happens next question. Okay, that's one sort of extra style. Let's start from the beginning. The main idea questions, okay? That's a summary. It's basically talking about the whole everything about the summary questions. I did an update on that one, but there's a strategy, summary, tricks and traps, and master skills. Now, here's a little inside tip. These tricks and traps, master skills, those are things which really, they're a major part of the course. So if you are subscribed to this YouTube channel and you watch the video lists or the playlists, you're getting information that you can't get anywhere else. There's also, so we have, main idea, detail questions, function questions, mood or attitude questions, motivational purpose questions, lots of stuff about that, organizational purpose, inference questions, category chart organization tasks, and the extra one, which I say this because there aren't specific names that are universal. The organization that created the exam has names for the different question types, and so do the different people that write the textbooks. And so therefore, my names are a little bit different than the names that are on the official site in their videos. But you can see the difference. Just watch those videos. There's 19 of them. So I have already made a lot of videos in the listening section. I will probably do more videos about different aspects, maybe tips and tricks and hints and blah, 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 that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to get this video out to let you know what's already there. It's already there. So Chinma, thank you for your statement, your response. Thank you for your message. And just go to the playlists in this video or in this channel and check out the videos there. All right, so the next one. This is from, and please forgive me if I don't say this correctly, Cardina Ciela. Okay, so thank you, Cardina Ciela, for the message. That person says, hey, I hope you're good too, sir. Oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to go back in time and pretend that I didn't forget this part. And this is the message that I wrote to everyone. Hey, everyone, I hope that you're all doing well and staying safe and healthy. That's why they said, I hope you're good too, sir. Thank you, Cardina Ciela. That's very nice of you. I've been very busy putting together a lot of free information that I think will be very helpful to you, helpful for you. That will be coming soon. there's always free information coming out. But I wanted to send a quick message to ask you, what is the 1 or 2 things that you want me to make a post or a video about? Just respond to this email to let me know what question about the TOEFL exam that I can answer for you, and I will be happy to start answering those questions. I look forward to hearing back from you all soon, and I heard back from a lot of you. Have an excellent day, the teacher. P.S. If you know anyone else that needs to take the TOEFL exam, please share this with them as well. Thank you. And I'm saying that to you too. Please, not to me, I'm saying that to you. If you know anyone that's taking the TOEFL exam or needs to take the TOEFL exam, please share this with them if it helps. Obviously, I'm not the traditional teacher. If you look at other videos that are out there about the TOEFL, they're clearly made by people who work for language schools, most of them, and they're a little bit more highly produced. They're a little bit more clean-cut people. I've been kind of famous with my students for being the guy who drops an F-bomb in class, and then the administrators at the school get mad at me because I don't teach the traditional way, and they're complaining that my students are constantly laughing in the classrooms. Of course, they never laugh when I'm trying to be funny. They are only laughing at me when I do something silly, which happens all the time. All right, so I hope you're good too, sir. For me, I need a video or a post of speaking and writing. Great. So, once again, going back to the YouTube channel. Let's go back there, and I'll show you, once again, speaking. 21 videos, same type of thing. It goes through every single question and task. Speaking and writing. Yes, good. Writing section, there's only 5 videos, but that's only because there are only 2 tasks on the writing section, so there's not as many videos there. I intend on making more videos in the future that are focused more on the structure of your response, like how you can get a better response, get your ideas out in a more thorough and expressive way. So that is coming up in the future, but there's plenty that you can get from these playlists here. So that's available. Make sure, as I said before, I'm doing the whole pretending that I'm inside the computer. Push that red button that says subscribe. No, this way. Hit that bell for notifications and tell all your friends that there's this really crazy guy making videos about TOEFL. So that's from Cardicineal. I'm not even going to try. I apologize. I know that I didn't say it correctly, but thank you for the message. All right, so next one. Here we go. This is from Como. Once again, sorry if I didn't get that correctly, but thank you for the message. I'm saying that as best as I think, so thank you, Como. And obviously there's a picture of some nurses back there, so that's a little, that's not appropriate, but that was an oversight on my part. I'm using Canva to make my slides, so I'm not associated with them. I'm not getting an affiliate by saying that, but it's a pretty awesome website, so check that out. But Kumo writes, my issue is reading and comprehension and listening. Okay, so I am guessing that when they're saying reading and comprehension, maybe it's well, I don't know. There's reading comprehension and listening comprehension. So as far as that, well, first of all, that's something that we do go over in the course. Obviously, you're going to be doing a lot of practice readings, and I'll be showing you in the actual course, and that is the TOEFL course. Let's see, where are we? All right, so this is the blog. I want to go over here. This is the biggest of the courses. I do have 2 full courses, but in the reading section, you can see that this reading section is pretty big. That's because the reading section is the biggest part of the exam. So we do go over all of that, like how to get the most important information out of a reading text and what information is actually the important reading. So that requires a lot of extra videos on their own, but once again, with all of these different parts of the exam, look, see, this is one lesson about the factual information and detail questions, but there are 3 examples. We have the official video, we have my video summary, which is in that playlist over here, there we go. And then we have how to identify them, strategies for answering the questions. In other words, this is like what information to listen for or to read for, what information is important in the reading and what information is not important. There's a video for the strategy, the tricks and traps. There's a video about the tricks and traps to basically clarify those ideas more. Master skills, once again, this is also dealing with how to how to find the correct information, what information to get rid of, and a video lesson for that. Now, there's not a video lesson for every single one in every single one of these lessons. In a lot of them, there are. Most of the reading section, there's a video for the tricks and traps and the master skills, but there are lessons for both of them. But in the listening section, because you asked about that, it's the same thing, because the reading section and the listening section are very, very similar. The only difference is that in reading, you're reading it. In listening, you're listening to it. Okay, so the reading section, you're reading the text on the page, so you're using the visual skills. In listening, you have to use your ears, and so some people have more difficulty with listening, and that's understandable because you don't get to see the words on the page. And so the person is speaking at a pace which is normal for them. And when you're reading, you might read at a slower pace. So it's understandable that the listening comprehension for some people is a little bit more difficult. But in the listening section, now the point I wanted to make is that in the listening section, there are videos for each one. But sometimes I combine, come on, let me find a good example. Where is an example of that? Okay. Of course, I'm not unscripted, man. Well, anyways, what I was going to say is that sometimes in the listening section, I have the tricks and the traps and the master skills combined into one video. That's all I wanted to say. But all the information for how to do that specifically on the TOEFL exam is in the course. Now, if you're talking about just generally improving your skills for reading and comprehension, it really just comes down to practice, man. That's it. Practice. And as far as listening, that's good. Now, there's one particular YouTube channel, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't want it to sound like I'm saying something bad about them, but there's one particular YouTube channel which is very, very popular, and all that's on that channel is example tests. And some of that content is very, very useful. But the thing is, the way it's presented is not necessarily in the most helpful way. So you get lots of reading examples, and then there are questions, and there's a little answer key down below. But since the questions are in 2 columns, and they don't have A, B, C, D, they don't have the letters or the numbers in front of the questions, but then the question or the answer key is just in a straight line. So sometimes you don't know which one is... I guess it would be A, B, C. So you wouldn't know which one is D and which one, it's what I'm trying to say is the organization doesn't really help you. And even though you have the correct answers, you don't sometimes, just having the information, there's no explanation of how they got that answer. So in the course, I explain all of that. And also I explain all of that in the videos. So you're actually getting a lot of the course material in the video section that you get in the course. Obviously, the written parts, the lessons explain everything further, so I would still suggest taking the course, especially now because they're all 50% off. So here's my little plug. If you go to the TOEFL Excellence page of Give Me Some English, you go to the courses. We have full courses that you'll land on this page. Obviously, I have 2 full courses here. The difference between these 2 is that, everything that's in the how to answer every question and fulfill every task in the TOEFL IPT exam course, that's a long name, but it describes it exactly. Everything that's in this one is also in this one. What's extra about this is the tricks and traps and the master skills, and that's a huge part of it. Now, you can get 1 month access, 3 month access, or 6 month access. And this is only for a limited time because I'm going to be getting rid of the 1 month access. And the reason for that is because I truly believe that you need more than 1 month. I had that up there only for the fact that some people, like I just had a student recently, he only had 3.5 weeks or something like that before his exam, and he really needed to study. And so, I made that particular type of course available. But the thing is, unless you spend hours every single day of that month, you're probably not going to be able to prepare in time. And that's even if you have the language skills already, because anytime you're learning something, It's already been proven. Tons of people have spoken about this. I don't have studies names to reference, but it's common knowledge, or as they'd say on Game of Thrones, it is known. It is known that when you learn something, you only retain about 30% of it at a time. So this is weird talking to the camera. So if you just have 30 days to do the TOEFL, now you could go through the entire course in 1 month, both of these, if you just did one lesson a day. But how much of that are you going to retain? You got to go back and practice more and more. So really with the reading comprehension and listening, it's the same thing. It's all about practice. So you'll get that practice in the course, but you can also practice with other materials elsewhere. One of the other things that I think is a good resource for practicing reading and comprehension, or the comprehension of reading text, is Wikipedia. Now, a lot of people say that the information on Wikipedia is not factually true because anybody can change it, but for the most part it is, yeah. So just pick the random article feature. They have a random article feature, and that gives you similar types of material that you would find on the exam. Just there's some, often they're a little bit longer. Now, how do you know if you're comprehending it correctly? Well, then you got to use a dictionary. And actually, my favorite dictionary is Wiktionary. It's this one. It's part of the dictionary or the Wikipedia world. And so here's my other thing. Dictionary.com sucks. Wiktionary. Now, people can say anything they want about Wikipedia, that it's not good, that the information is not true because it's not written by anyone, or it's not written by, let me rephrase that, it can be written by anyone. But in the Wiktionary, let's type a word. What word are we going to type? Well, let's just pick this one, ghost. All right, so look on this. We got a nice table of contents. That's a heck of a lot more than you'll get on dictionary.com. You have the etymology, which is sometimes the most important information that you could have about any word. It tells you where the word comes from, all the different roots of the word. And if you read this part, a lot of times you will learn more about the word than you will by reading the definition. And look at this definition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 definitions. And a lot of them are probably not even definitions. They're just examples of usages. And that's the problem with dictionary.com, is that a lot of times the definition is not actually the definition of the word. It's the explanation of the usage. And those two things are not the same. Wiktionary, when you have the etymology, a lot of times the meaning is clear. You don't need the definition, and you don't need an explanation. You need you need the meaning and some examples, and then you got it. So that's my suggestion for that. So how does this tie in here? Well, if you read articles anywhere and you don't know a word, or even if you're not sure how to define the word, go here. Also, I also have a TOEFL. Where is it? Let's see. The TOEFL Vocabulary Database. Now, one of the other things is that there is another channel on YouTube, and it's also a school, and it's also a business, and they're probably the most popular TOEFL preparation service in the world right now. I'm sure you all know their name. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to be considered like a hater. I do things very differently than they do, and in their videos, well, there's one particular person that does the videos for the TOEFL, and that person is constantly, or maybe in the past, I haven't watched any of their videos for a while, but there are a lot of videos about TOEFL vocabulary. Learn vocabulary for the TOEFL. You have to study these subjects and this subjects, and there was one where he actually said, the TOEFL exam really likes birds. You got to study birds. Okay, so you don't need to study different subjects of vocabulary for the TOEFL exam. You only need to know functional vocabulary words like the word exam or the word, any of the words that are going to be used in the directions. So you probably should know the word register. I had an email from one person where it seemed that they didn't seem to understand the word register, I get a lot of people on the mailing list that say that they're registered for the exam, but then they say they don't really know which exam to take, if they're going to take the TOEFL or the IELTS. Well, if they don't know which one to take, then they're probably not registered for the exam. So the only vocabulary that you need to know is the vocabulary that's going to help you understand the directions and the tasks and questions in the exam. And all of those words are in the TOEFL Vocabulary Database, including about 5,000 other words. Now, why do I call this the TOEFL Vocabulary Database? Because all of these words are I started with the 3,000 most common words in the English language, and then it just kept growing from there because I also used the different forms of the words. Like here we have deliver and delivery. So instead of just having the singular word, whenever there is a different form of the word, it's also in here. So that's why it grew from 3,000 to almost 5,000. So these are the most commonly used words. Now, obviously, well, it should be obvious. Hopefully, it should be obvious. Okay, maybe it's not obvious. But one thing that should be clear is that you don't need to know every single one of these words on the list. But these are words that would be expected for you to know if you're entering a university. And so therefore, since the TOEFL exam, it tests your ability to function in a university setting, so then they expect you to be able to understand these words. Now, like I said, you don't need to learn all of them, but if you're reading some text and trying to build your comprehension, if you come across a word that you don't know, look it up. And let's say the word is emotional. Okay, you go there and it takes you to, this is the old pronunciation database. Now, like I showed you the front page before, and it says that the new one's being built. You can still access the old one from the TOEFL vocabulary database, but all of these entries are going to be transferred over into the new one. So you look up the word emotional, it tells you exactly how to pronounce it because of the pronunciation database. But then if you click on the word, it takes you to that word on Wiktionary. Oh my God, isn't that convenient? Yep, it sure is. And it took me about over a year to build that thing. And now I'm rebuilding it. Okay, so if you're reading something, you don't know the word, look it up. And even if you think you know the word, look it up, because maybe you'll find out that the word is different than you knew. Same thing with listening. Now, when you're listening, maybe you don't know how to spell a word, but obviously if you are using Google, if you type the word in, even misspelling, it's going to guess which word you're talking about. And that's how you do it. And that's my incredibly long answer, probably 10 minutes longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's for you, Como. And I hope that's helpful. And for everybody else. Let's move on to the next one. On to the next one. On to the next one. That's about the only Jay-Z song I like. That song is awesome, but it's also because it's Swizz Beatz, and Swizz Beatz is cool too. All right, oral and typing from Dylan. Well, it's not a question, not really a full statement, but I think I know what you're saying. You probably need help with speaking, and I'm guessing that means the speaking section. Once again, speaking section, 21 videos, every single question and task in the speaking section of the TOEFL IBT exam, which is covered more fully in this one. All right, so that's oral. That's your speaking practice. You can also hire me if you want to do one-on-one sessions. That's a little bit more expensive. It's available though. It's, if you want to do that, I'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one. We can do that over Skype and Zoom. And there is a way to get a hold of me there by, no, not there. Give me some English. Oh, look, here we have this one right here. Services. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, 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 ba. Services. How may I be of service to you? Click down. Services provided. 25-minute one-on-one sessions, 50-minute one-on-one sessions. Specific needs. That just means whatever you need. It doesn't have to be 25 or 50 if you want to talk for an hour and a half, and we can talk about anything you want. These ones are, if you say, hey, I just want some practice, then I'll pick some topic. If you want to pick the topic, well, we can do that too. I do proofreading. I do team language training. I developed courses for the hosting company, the web hosting company that I have all my sites hosted on. I taught English for them, and it was awesome. Anything else? Well, if you got anything else that you think I can help you with, that's there too. So that's how you find it. Go to Give Me Some English and services there. So that's how I can help you even more so than in the exam. Now, as far as typing, well, I don't personally have a course on that. I don't know if I ever will because it's not my profession or it's not my expertise. But in this course, which is absolutely free, and you can find that by going to courses, free courses, and this is the only free course that we have at the moment of this recording, but there will be more. And this is what you need to know and have before registering for the TOEFL IBT exam. So, Dylan, I'm glad that you brought this up because this is number 2, the ability to type. Let's click on that page. All right, so the ability to type. And it's taking a second for the GIF because I have so many pages open and I was downloading. No, I wasn't downloading torrents. I don't do that. I pay for everything. So you have to have the ability to type. Well, if you don't have the ability to type, at least not like that, you don't have to type that fast. But I have a link to a typing course here. Now, this is to Allison Courses. I don't have an affiliate with them. I'm not getting any payment from them. This is a free course, so there's no way I'm making money from this. This is just the only typing course that oh, good, it's been revised and updated. Okay, good. So this is the only typing course that I know of. I'm sure that there are plenty of free touch typing courses on the internet. All you have to do is type in touch typing training or how to type or something like that, and you'll find them. But what I'm saying is that's the best way that I know of to practice typing because I don't necessarily know how to teach typing. I took a typing class in high school, and that was on an old school typewriter, before we had computers in schools, because I'm that old. I'm, what do they call that? A Dunedain, yeah. Guess my age. You have to guess my age. And whoever guesses my age exactly correct, I'm just making this up right now, the first person to guess my age absolutely correct, I will give you a free month of TOEFL Dominator. I promise. But you have to give me your email, and so put it in a private message. Or you can go to Give Me Some English. Well, not there. Okay, so I got it. That's the blog. Okay. Well, anyways, you can contact me. Going to, let's go to the homepage. So if you scroll down to the very bottom of TOEFL Excellence, you have contact, and this is the same. For all inquiries, theteacher at GiveMeSomeEnglish.com. That's how you get a hold of me. All right. So first person to send me the correct guess of my actual age, I will give you a free month of TOEFL Dominator. I promise. And it's going to be awesome. All right. So next one. This is from Kenza. I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. Okay, so this is from Kenza. Kenza says, "Hello, teacher. I hope you doing..." Oops, it should be you're doing well, and your family too. Thank you, Kenza. I appreciate that. To be honest with you, I think I'm good. I like honesty. To be honest with you, I think I need some tips so I can manage my time in a good way. That's a good idea. Also, tell us the most famous mistakes done by learners. That's also a very good idea. Have a good day. Thank you. You too. Oh, P.S. Thanks for reading my email. Hey, no problem. Thank you for sending it. I appreciate that, honestly. Okay, this is a really good one. Very thoughtful ideas here. Some tips on how to manage time. Well, that's another big subject, but in regards to the TOEFL, since the TOEFL exam is completely timed and you have no control over the timer when you're actually in the exam, then the best way to manage your time as far as preparing for the TOEFL is to time yourself. Ooh, uh-oh, now I just messed up my whole look. Uh-oh, see? All right, so anyways, the best way to, that's weird. Now I'm all self-conscious about the way I look. See, that's why I didn't like putting my face on videos, because get all weird. I don't like the way I look. All right, so back to what I was talking about before. All right, so see this, just to let you know, these videos, this is kind of how my classes run. It's very relaxed, all right? And I think I'll have another drink of beer. I don't have beer in my classes, though, I promise. All right. How to manage your time. As far as the preparation before the exam, like how to maximize the amount of time that you can do for preparing. First of all, first tip, how much time do you need to prepare for the TOEFL? I would say in almost every situation that you should have at least 3 months to prepare. It's so important. I wrote a blog post about it. and it is when to start preparing for the TOEFL, how much time one needs to prepare. This is part of time management, and I hope that's what you meant, but if not, this is something you should also be prepared for. This is on the blog, when to start preparing for the TOEFL IBT exam. It tells you exactly why you need 3 months. If you do less, you're going to feel like Ron Burgundy here and immediately regret that decision. And this is about registering when you don't have enough time. And unfortunately, a lot of people that contact me register with less time than they need to prepare. And that's unfortunate. And I blame everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. I think the reason that happens is because the information about the TOEFL is not necessarily, it's not something that people find out about until they know that they need it. And a lot of times the people that tell them that they need it, they don't have like a schedule that they tell them. They say, oh, if you want to get into university, you need the TOEFL. Well, what if they have only 2 months left before that? Well, then they got to study really hard. Okay. I'm trying not to burp on camera. If I do, excuse me. All right, so you need to have at least 3 months to prepare. You should probably have an extra month because after the exam, excuse me, I need more water. I promise it's not Corona. Besides, I'm in my house, so it doesn't matter. I mean, not the beer isn't Corona, but my dry throat. So getting back on track, 3 months to prepare for the TOEFL with an extra month to allow the scores to arrive at the institution that you are sending the scores to. This is a fairly long blog post explaining all of the reason why. So that's one aspect of time management. The other thing is when you're studying for the exam, like I mentioned, if you are taking the full course, you could go through the entire course just doing one task or one question per day, and you could get through the whole thing. But I think that because there's a little over 31 question and task types throughout the whole thing. So basically, if you just did one lesson a day, you could do it in a month. You'd have to do a little bit more than one lesson, but I don't think that's the best use of the time. However, like I said before, whenever you're learning something new, you only get about 30% of retention every time. So that's why you have to watch this video at least 3 times and press like at least 10 times. No, 11, because you can only do it once. And so if you press it 10. Okay, anyways. So you could do at least one lesson a day, but most people are probably going to do 3 or 4 because it doesn't take that long to go through one lesson, maybe a half hour. But I would say that as far as time management in general, there are plenty of other ideas out there. There's one that I just recently discovered called the Pomodoro Technique. And if I remember correctly, it's something like you work really hard on something for 25 minutes and then you take a break. I don't know exactly how it goes because I just discovered it like a couple days ago. But there's a lot of great resources on time management and specifically about studying. As far as the TOEFL exam, I would say you need to have at least 3 months of preparation time beforehand. That's so that, like typical TOEFL courses at a language school are like 5 weeks. And in those situations, you meet for like 3 hours every Saturday and Sunday, or, twice a week for like 3 hours. By the time you're done with those 3 hours, you're exhausted and you can't remember most of the things. So I don't think that's a very good method. You should do a little bit every day. That way you retain most of it. You can do some review. Excuse me. Sorry. That way you can you can get through the whole course. You can review. You can take a break before the exam and do a quick review before your exam day. I think that's the best way to do it. And honestly, if that offended anyone, hey, well, whatever. Everybody burps. But so, yeah, 3 months to prepare for the exam. That's pretty much all I can say. If you're talking about general time management skills, look up the Pomodoro Technique. Otherwise, just Google time management because there's lots of things about managing your time for studying. My expertise is specifically on the TOEFL exam. If I didn't answer your question, please let me know. If anyone else has other suggestions, let me know because honestly, time management is something that I have struggled with throughout my life because I used to be such a good procrastinator that I often didn't end up having to do the thing I was procrastinating about. But that's not really a very good idea because then, you lose opportunities, and then you wonder, how come nobody's giving me any opportunities? And then you say, well, because you just screwed off all the time. I didn't think that you wanted to do anything. So don't procrastinate. There's my good tip. Hey, there you go. Don't procrastinate. Do it now. Like I said at the beginning of this video, if you are all the way at this point from the beginning of the video, you remember I said that it was really difficult to plug in the camera and do this video. So that's it. Just do it. Do it right now. Start studying and get it done. All right. Manage the time and go tell us the most famous mistakes. Okay, so the first mistake I already talked about before, and a lot of times that mistake is because they didn't know any better, and that is not giving themselves enough time to prepare. You should have at least 3 months to prepare for the exam so that you are confident that you learn everything and that you can take a break and then you can go back and review. And then when you go in for test day, you feel like a champion because you know that you know everything, especially if you take my course. Other mistakes that people make is not fully reading directions. That it deserves a video on its own. You got to read, let me use more proper English. You must read all of the directions thoroughly. And you need to be able to fully comprehend every word in the instructions, both in the exam itself and in the question and task types. And that's why this also leads back into preparing, because if you go through all the videos and you go through the course and you learn every single question and task type and you know exactly what is expected for each question and task type, then you don't need to read those directions on exam day. So you can manage your time on exam day, even though there's a timer, by taking some deep breaths. Feels nice, right? So yeah, read the instructions. Let me think of one more. Okay, biggest mistakes. Here's another one. This is probably even more common than the other two. The biggest mistake is thinking that they can take the TOEFL exam without preparing. That is the biggest mistake, and I don't understand why people think that they can do that. My only guess is that most people think that since they've done lots of exams before, or that they have a good comprehension of English, that they can just waltz into the TOEFL exam and say, I'm here, I'm ready to take my exam, let's do this. And then they find out that there are very specific techniques for every single question and task. And even if you're a native speaker could go into the TOEFL, and if they are not prepared for what they have to do, they could completely fail. And be like, but this is embarrassing. I'm a native speaker and I failed it. Yeah, because you didn't prepare. So that's the biggest mistake. Not preparing. Not knowing what the exam has in it beforehand. Choosing not to prepare. A lot of people do that. They literally choose not to prepare, and then they register, spending at least $200 to $300 on the whole process, and they waste their money completely. So prepare. Give yourself 3 months to prepare, and read the instructions thoroughly, more than once. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for sending the email. Everybody, thank you for listening. I know this video is probably, I don't even know how long it is, but it's long. And it's about, I thought this video was going to be like 10 minutes. Okay, so that's it for today. I am the teacher, and I am answering your questions. I hope I answered your questions today. If you have any other questions for me, put them in the comments, and I will answer them later. All right, that's it. Bye.